Hi, I'm Zach. Welcome to the Monster Garden where I do monster readings. Today's topic is just providing a snapshot of you right now. It's going to be a basic general reading of where you're at right now. If you have a more specific, detailed question or issue, you can think about it in those terms, but it's just going to be overall. So there's three decks or three stacks: stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. So right now you can take a minute to look at them and just think about which one's calling your name. You don't need to think too deeply about it. Don't worry too much about the objects. They're just to distinguish them. I'm going to try to feel which one feels right for you. And you can always watch more than one if you feel like two of them feel like they make sense for you to see. And then I'll put the time codes in the description so that you can jump to the part of the video with your reading in it. So I'll just show you the objects. Pile 1 has this little plastic crystal I got one time from a New Year's reading. Pile 2 has this driftwood from a beach that I found one time. And pile 3 has this nice beach glass I got from the same beach. So yeah, thanks again for watching this video. The description will have all links for contacting me about a personal reading or whatever else. And thank you, and now I'm going to start with the readings. Hey Pile 1, this is your reading. If you chose Pile 1 with the little plastic crystal. So let's look at the first two cards. We've got reversed Mr. Bobo, and we've got reversed Tukas. Interesting. So I think that you might be feeling a little bit lost and like you're trying to find some guidance or inspiration or something to help you make a decision or figure out what to do. That might be what's occupying your mind. And at a deeper level, I think you're looking for a break from the stuff you're currently doing, and you want something that feels a little more right for you. You'd like maybe just some downtime, some rest time to figure things out, and maybe a chance to get started on a new fun journey, a new project, maybe just a new hobby. You'd like some downtime or creative time. So let's take a look at some other cards. This is going to be a 5-card reading I made. Oops, trying to fit them all in the camera. There we go. Kind of hard to fit these. They're too big. So just so you know, Mr. Bobo is the main character of my game Monster Garden. You can see it on my shirt too. All the characters on these cards are from Monster Garden. He's the star of the show. He's your guide through the garden. In reversed, he can be when you are in need of guidance or feeling a little lost or feeling out of touch with yourself, trying to figure out what you really want. And Tukas is a booty biker boy in the game. He is working with these other booty biker boys, following his boss's orders, always busy. Then one day he decides to quit because he realizes he just wants to have no clue what he's doing. He's tired of being efficient. He actually wants to be inefficient and just stumble around and discover something new. And in the end, he discovers a new passion of dancing as a result of his downtime, resting time. This was also in reverse, so I think in reverse that can mean you're stuck maybe in booty biker boy mode of rushing around or feeling a little lost and like you haven't really found that new thing for you yet. Let's look at some other cards. Just going to shuffle and see what comes up for two outside influences on the situation. All right, just try to get 2 cards, please. 2 cards for outside influences on the situation. Well, I might have to edit this part out because this is not going. Oh, there we go. There's one. Oops, there we go. Well, I'll just turn it over because that one came out right side up. So you got on the one hand, an outside influence is the love, support, and encouragement card. On the other hand, it's the reversed distance card. So I feel like there could be something preventing you from taking the distance that you want to have. This is the distance let it be card in reverse. Since you got the Mr. Bobo, kind of your inner voice card in reverse, this booty biker boy in reverse, distance in reverse, there must be something. It could be a work, it could be the situation you're in where you're either keeping busy or not able to be removed enough to have an objective view or figuring out what's going on. At the same time, you've got the love, support, and encouragement card. That could be a person in your life or a situation in your life that's just giving you the love and support that you need to keep going right now. So maybe you're doing all right. You've got friends and family behind you with what you're doing, but you're feeling a little bit lost, or like you're not able to see things totally clearly, and you would really like some downtime. With the love, support, and encouragement card and the distance let it be card, it could be that you're kind of overwhelmed with family or obligations, things that you have to be involved with or keep track of, or people you have to support. And even though that support can be nice and to have these strong relationships, you might feel like you need some distance and you just need kind of to take a step back for a minute. That's what a lot of these cards are saying with all these reversed Bobos and distance and Tukas. So let's see some cards for advice in this situation. Okay, card of advice for pile 1. Oh, there we go. Okay, there was 2. Let's go like this. So we've got reversed Friar and upright Tifa. This is the advice in your situation that you're in, or maybe it's the core of the issue. So I should have explained this. This is a reading I made up called, the spread is a spread that I made up called You Right Now. So the top card is your conscious mind. The bottom card is more the back of your mind, the deeper motivation. Then we've got 2 external influences on the sides, and in the middle it's the core of the issue or the advice or something to think about. I think with reversed Friar is about clearing the way to the goal, having a clear sight on your destination, wanting to take the shortest path there and remove all obstacles in your path and just ignore the distractions and be focused on kind of getting done your to-do list in order to get through with all these distractions and get to the place that you want to be in. In reversed, I feel like this could also mean either you're not sure where it is you want to go or what are even the to-do things you should be doing. It sounds like you're a little bit overwhelmed or looking for guidance of which way to go, what decision to make. Maybe you're not clear of what it really is that you want to be doing, let alone how to do it. But Tifa is the mysterious time fairy floating poet monster of the game. This is a very intuitive, mysterious card about just letting things flow without having any idea where they're coming from. So it's possible that you're overthinking things and you keep looking for something else to tell you which decision you should make, what you should be doing. Maybe you're getting a little bit stuck on trying to understand what's going on. The Tifa card is about not knowing where it's coming from. She just lets her poetry flow out of her mustache. Let those beautiful words flow out of your beautiful mustache is the Tifa energy. It's very intuitive. So I feel like with the Friar is very like practical checklist energy. That's in reversed. I feel like maybe don't worry so much about does this make sense? Where am I going? Am I checking off all the to-dos in order to get there? I feel like maybe you should just give yourself a break from that kind of goal-focused thinking and just focus on letting whatever comes up come up. So maybe there's, you don't feel like you're in the right mood for doing something that you want to do, but just let yourself do it anyway, and whatever comes up at the time comes up. Maybe just try to see what your intuition is telling you as opposed to, what either someone else is telling you or your rational mind is. This is pretty interesting overall. I think what the reverse Tukas energy is really all about kind of your inner child, your inner child struggling with this crazy adult world we have to be in and really not wanting to do all this efficient job, adult boss stuff. So I feel like that's at the deeper root of the situation card. So I feel like really you might just be either putting too much pressure on yourself or getting too much pressure from other people that you need to be this highly functioning adult checking off all the boxes, whereas you really just want to be kind of just a either a vulnerable little kid or just a clueless little kid having fun, not knowing where stuff is going. Like when kids are playing, they don't have a rational plan for the overall arc of the storyline. When they play house, they just play with whatever comes along. So I feel like if you can find some time to just let things come to the surface and see what happens, maybe do something creative where you just follow, let yourself express whatever comes out. Just draw a picture. It doesn't have to be good or bad, just whatever comes out, that's fine. You don't have to overthink it or think, oh God, is this picture going to be good? Is this picture going to be worth money? And that's just one example of painting a picture. It could be anything. But I think maybe less focus on having to prove yourself or accomplish something, and give yourself a chance just to follow your feelings, even if it feels like it makes no sense. That's the whole point of Tukas, is that he had no sensible plan. He quit his job working for this boss and went to the monster garden to live with Mr. Bobo. These are really quite a pair that goes together. Mr. Bobo convinced him to quit this crazy serving the boss stuff and come chill in the garden. And he just like wandered around and just decided to, explore what he was feeling instead of what made sense and what someone else told him was right. And then he discovered a new passion. At the end of the game, he started this whole new life journey of being a dancer and, reinventing his life, reconnecting with his old friends with this new identity he discovered. So a lot of the cards in this reading are about that, not doing this adult checklist rational stuff. That could be actually what's kind of preventing you from taking this distance, or this kind of removed distance from what you're doing, is that you might feel too much of this overwhelming pressure that you have to be rational and serious and on point. So I feel like if you can, give yourself a break from that energy sometimes. Maybe you have to think like that at work, but when you're at home and you have some time, let yourself do some stuff that feels pointless. Maybe just, play around. If you have kids or dogs, just play with them. Something that feels pointless, where you're just letting your beautiful words flow out, and then just see where that leads. Maybe it'll lead to nothing. Maybe it'll lead to a new hobby or a new skill or a new passion. But the first important step of that is accepting that you don't know where it's going to lead, and maybe it will lead nowhere. That actually opens up so much possibility compared to putting pressure on yourself that this has to lead to something amazing and has to, make money or be good. And this is saying you've got the love and support behind you. You don't need to worry about no one will like you or they won't like what you make. This is showing that you've got love and support with what you're doing. Just, it feels like, stop going so hard on yourself when and if you can, and let yourself just be a little more intuitive, play around, no pressure to succeed or do anything. That would be the advice for this reading. So I hope you felt this was on point. Again, there's information in the description box about how to get a personal reading and support me in other ways if you want to, or reach out. Thank you again for being here. This is a spread I made up called You Right Now, using my monster cards from my game Monster Garden. There's also a link to Monster Garden in the description. So thank you again, and see you next time. I'm going to move on to stack 2. Bye! Hi Deck 2, welcome to your reading, or Pile 2. I need to keep it straight on what words I use. This is the reading for Pile 2. If you chose the deck with... Wow, I just keep mixing up Pile and Deck. If you chose the one with the driftwood, I'll keep it right there. So I'm going to be using a spread that I made up called You Right Now. It's in a cross shape with 5 positions. This top one is kind of what you're thinking about a lot consciously. The bottom is more the deeper motivation behind that, or something else you're thinking about a little deeper level. Let's see what they are. We've got Drizzy, reversed Drizzy energy, big void energy, and we've got the reversed knowing card. Wow. I feel like, judging by these cards, you might be feeling a little bit hopeless or scared, like there's this big system that you can never win against, or it's not going to work out, that it's impossible to achieve your dreams or for things to work out for you. Maybe not that extreme, but you might be feeling a little bit lost or like you're losing hope. In the might be what's filling up the front of your mind. Feels like at the deeper level, you might be in the process of figuring some things out, potentially going through a really tough time. I know when you're in the depths of those tough times, it can feel super hard, but I think you really might be in the process of really growing in some beautiful ways and discovering new things about yourself. So just by these first two cards so far, I feel like you might be in the middle of a really amazing and beautiful process, but it might be really tough right now with feeling like, where is this going? What's the point? And stuff like that. Drizzy is a kind of meta secret character in the game. So this character is from my game Monster Garden. This is a game where you make friends with a bunch of monsters, but if you refuse to make friends with the monsters, you can make friends with this monster instead, who kind of is aware that it's all a game. He's kind of a little bit not cynical or nihilistic, but recognizing this is just a game, it doesn't really matter, it's just code. He's kind of bigger than the game and sees that it's meta fourth wall breaking character. In the upright position, it's about not being intimidated by things, seeing that this scary boss or job is just something that you do, it's not the biggest deal in the world, things like that. But reversed, this can be feeling really lost or hopeless, or like, what's the point? So that can be a really scary place to be. But this card is a card about deep understanding, deeper than words, before rational thought, just knowing yourself through experience, especially going through something really hard. And just after that, you just have this deep sense of knowing that's maybe impossible to articulate. You can't explain what you experienced or what you know to other people, but you've just gained a really deep level of self-understanding and life experience from stuff you've gone through. But upside down, that could mean you're struggling with the hard part of that right now, which is going through the hard part that leads to knowing and understanding. So you might be having a tough time to various degrees. Let's just look at some other cards to get some insight. The other two cards are outside influences on your situation, and the middle card is going to be advice. And I know it sounds like you might be having a hard time, so thank you for being here, and I hope this can give you some guidance and support. Oh, so here's outside influence 1, outside influence 2. One more card for deck 2, outside influence 2. Wow. Okay, I guess that one. Okay, sorry, I got to work on my shuffling technique. It takes a while, so I'm editing out the shuffling parts of the video so you don't get too bored. Let's take a look at your outside influences. This could be 2 influences or 1 influence represented in 2 cards. But the point of this is that it's something outside yourself. It could be a person or a place that's affecting you. It could be something you're trying to include in your life. It could be an actual person in your life. It could be a job. It could be whatever. But it's some sort of outside influences. This is interesting. You've got the star card reversed and take the lead card. So the star card is about being the center of attention, but not because you want to be in the spotlight. It's about someone being in the center of attention who can just serve as kind of a MC or guide who focuses people's attention on what to do next. It's kind of like an MC of a party. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, or people over here, now look at this. Kind of bringing people together and keeping that light social bond going. In reverse, that can mean, not wanting to be in the public eye right now, or a situation where you're forced to be out in public and you don't really want to, or don't feel comfortable, or, it could represent a social situation where there's no one doing this, kind of managing the vibe. Maybe people are kind of disconnected and off, and you need someone kind of connecting them in a more positive way. That could be maybe a workplace or a situation you're in. The other card is the take the lead card. Interestingly, this is kind of about someone that you can look up to and who knows what to do and is very assertive and commanding, but in a good way, where you would like them to take charge because you know that they know what they're talking about and they're happy to be a leader. It's kind of the most natural positive sense of a leader. And it's very interesting that these are together. It could be about a situation where you're expected to be a leader, but like something about the situation is off. It's just not your vibe, or the people aren't able to connect, or maybe you want to be a leader, but it's just something about the situation's not connecting for you. I feel like this is something about a person or a situation, a person who is a leader, but who isn't able to take on that role for something, for some reason the social situation just isn't working out. The people aren't coming together, or they can't really step into that leadership role. It feels like a person maybe you can turn to for advice, but they're not able to be like in the public domain. Maybe this is you in a situation at work or school where you feel like you should be a leader and you're a natural one, but for some reason you can't, or things are holding you back. Of course, with coronavirus now, we can't get together in this type of party environment with people coming together. So it would make sense if you're that kind of person who wants to be leading other people in real life, but we're kind of kept apart by, quarantine and everything these days. So I feel like this is a very relevant card for a time now. It's hard to be in this light social situation with so many intense things going on. We can't even also get together in person to enjoy the party atmosphere. So this seems to be something in your life that's kind of a disconnect with taking the lead, but also how either you can't go public with it or people can't actually come together to make the things happen. But let's get some advice. The center card or cards, if more than one comes out, is either the focus of the situation, something to think about, some sort of advice, or something to give you some further insight. Oh, there we go. Let's see. This is the reversed Feb energy, reversed Feb card. Feb is the analytical, analyzing monster. She has one eye. She thoroughly observes everything, almost assertively, barges in almost to demand answers and figure out what's going on. In reverse, that can be about getting stuck in your head and kind of related to Drizzy. Drizzy's also kind of, I feel like it's very about overthinking when you're kind of thinking, what's the point? Because sometimes we just can't understand the point right now because we don't realize what we're growing into. So it's not really worth it to spend so much time rationally trying to understand the point. With our current experience and knowledge, it might just be impossible to understand right now. And it's easy, of course, to get stuck in these, rational mind loops of trying to figure things out. So the advice, I feel like we should get some more advice cards. Part of it is don't feel like you have to understand everything going on or overanalyze it. Whatever situation this is in that's making you feel pointless, I feel like something's holding you back from doing what you want or being the leader you want to be or being this type of situation you want to be in. Things could be feeling frustrating. You are, I think, learning a lot and in the difficult stage of the growing process. Let's see. If we can get a few more advice cards. I feel like we could get 2 or 3 more for kind of message about this. Message for stack 2. Any other message? Message for stack 2. Oh, there was one. Right, message for stack 2. So for the message, we've got reversed Doofter and reversed Tenty. This is interesting. Doofter is definitely one of the more harsh characters in the game. My game Monster Garden is about befriending monsters, like I said. This is another secret monster, actually like Drizzy. These are the two hidden, almost kind of potentially sinister characters, especially in the reversed position. Doofter is the one that is too good to waste time with friends. He doesn't want any time wasters. He only wants to be friends if you meet his standards and if you're worth it somehow to him in his terms. So in reverse, I feel like this is saying don't be too harsh with yourself. Don't demand too much. Don't be a doofter with yourself and demanding that you be good enough or putting this cold pressure on yourself. That can be a lot to deal with. It sounds like you're in the middle of a big learning experience. You don't need to demand answers right now. You don't need to be analyzing it. You don't need to be doofed or demanding that you do better. I think you probably really need to just cut yourself some slack, and not be harsh or judgmental with yourself right now. We also had reverse Tinty. Tinty is a broken and beautiful, clunking old TV that kind of just accepts his own awkward energy and kind of is just like, whatever, I'm just here, I'm broken, I'm gonna bumble along, and whatever. It's very whatever energy. So this in reverse too, I feel like this is also a message of, don't give up. Don't feel like, whatever, I'm doomed to be broken. This is how I am. I'll never improve. I'll never get out of this state. Feels like a very strong message of go easy on yourself. Don't overthink it. And you're not doomed. You're not broken and trapped in this state. You're in the process of learning a lot about yourself, which can be very hard. This is the card of like going through difficult times and learning from that. Maybe you're not able to be the person right now that you want to be, but I think this is really the key card of where it's going. You're going towards deep understanding and knowing yourself, and like deep strength and like solace from that understanding. So just cut yourself some slack. You don't need to be harsh on yourself. You don't need to demand the best of yourself right now. You don't need to overthink what you're doing or think that you have to make sense of things or else you're bad. You don't. And then on top of all that, you need, in addition to going so easy on yourself, you also need to or might benefit from not recognizing that you're not stuck how you are. Like, this isn't about giving up. Like, going easy on yourself and not demanding rational answers of yourself is not the same thing as giving up. You're not just giving up and being like, well, I'm a broken old clunker forever, game over, at all. You're in the process of learning something amazing about yourself and growing into someone else. So it's not a matter of giving up. It's just a matter of cutting yourself some slack, giving yourself a break, accepting that it's okay not to know what's going on right now, because you're in the process of learning new things that just don't make sense to the old you, or maybe don't make sense to you now. Maybe they'll make sense in the future, but just give yourself some time, cut yourself some slack, and realize that you can grow and get better, and you actually are in the process of it right now. So thank you for checking out this reading. This was Group 2. There's information in the description box about how you can book a personal reading, or if you want to play my game Monster Garden to get to know these characters better, there will be a link for that in there as well. Thank you again for joining me for this reading, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye. So hi, Group 3. If you chose the third pile, this is your reading. If you chose the little glass, beach glass, put it right here. So this is going to be a 5-card reading in a spread that I made up called You Right Now. There's 5 cards representing what you're thinking about consciously and subconsciously, outside influences on the situation, and then finally a message about what's the core of what's going on right now, or some advice or something to think about. Let's look at these 2 cards. Got Strength, Deep Roots, and Jellypot, Playfully Present. This is a very interesting combination. So it looks like by these 2 cards right now you might be feeling very strong and in your element, like you're standing on very stable foundations and have a lot of strengths in whatever it is you're doing. And at a deeper level, you're just kind of taking delight in what you're doing. You just feel ready for this, like you can handle it, and even take joy in it and see things a little more lightly, maybe more so than you used to when you didn't have these strengths and skills. This is the Deep Strength card I see as a gardener who is growing plants and trees that, sure, they look nice on the surface, but they have really deep roots that no one can see. It's about deep strength, even, superpowers in terms of superheroes, so they look like a normal person. Little do you know they have a superpower. So it's about incredible abilities that might be invisible to the naked eye or even unappreciated by others, but in the upright position, it's very wonderful. It's just about being in your element, having those deep roots supporting you in what you're doing. And Jellypot is a character from my game Monster Garden. All the monster cards are from my game Monster Garden. If you want to check it out, the description, or a link to it's in the description box. Jellypot is a kind of very knowing but very neutral character that always has a kind of smile on his face. He just says very sensible, simple lines, but it's almost like he's always holding back, and on a much deeper level, he's very wise and very playful, just not taking things too seriously, just kind of watching with amusement and just, nodding and smiling along. So I feel like you're very prepared and able and on board with some kind of project that, or something you're doing that's like looks very fun for you and very suited to your strengths. So this is a great situation so far. Let's take a look at external influences on the situation. So this card was your conscious mind. This was like more subconsciously at a deeper level, and these two are external influences on the situation. Wow. Take the lead and bring your vision to life. These could be people in your life or situations, or it could be a role at work, or it could be something that you're trying to do. This is a lot. It looks like there could be an opportunity that you either have now or is coming soon to take a leadership role and put your vision and skills into action, because it looks like where you're at right now is you're feeling ready, feeling strong, and like you've grown something that you're ready to share. And at the deeper level, you have a lot of wisdom and are taking this lightly, but like have a lot of knowledge and are ready to take on a role. And this is the card about taking the lead in the best sense of the word, like a natural leader who people want to look to because they can recognize that person knows what they're doing. It's really about embracing a leadership role. I forgot to say this, but Jellypot's very much about taking on a role in the sense of that he is maybe serious looking on the outside, but playing on the inside. It's kind of like he's playing along. So I feel like there could be some role you're ready to take on, either in a job or school or, in your community, where you're ready to be a natural leader, taking charge and bringing your vision to life. These could be opportunities. This is about almost selfishly insisting on your own vision and demanding, an opportunity to bring it to life and enact your vision. So, of course, that could be good or bad depending on who's doing it. But in your case, it's like you've got a lot of strength, so much wisdom, you're a natural leader. This seems like it's going to be a beautiful thing if you insist on enacting your vision. So I feel like either you currently have or soon will have some great opportunities to take charge and create something wonderful with these strengths that you have and, play a role in a sense, maybe in your community or in your job or something. This just basically looks like you're in a great place. The final cards are about advice for the situation. Let's see what they're going to say. Advice for group 3. Advice for group 3. Oh, okay, there was one. I'll just take that one card for now. Advice for group 3. It's reversed friar. Interesting. And this is either advice or the core of the issue or something to focus on. This is Friar. He's a character from my game Monster Garden. He's a character who is very interested in just getting the to-dos done, ignoring distractions, and heading straight for the goal, or just heading straight for completion, getting the distractions out of the way and eliminating obstacles. It says clear the way on the bottom of this card in order to get to the goal, whatever that is for you, kind of in order to get to the point where you can do the more important things. In the reverse, in the advice section, I feel like this is kind of saying maybe that you don't have to worry too much about obstacles being in your way. You don't need to get overly fearful or focused on what about all these to-dos, what about all these checklists. I think things are going to work out smoothly based on the situation that you're in. People might step up to help you when they see that you have these strengths and you're a natural leader, and that you're bringing this vision to life. In terms of advice in the reversed, I feel like it's something about that you don't need to Maybe there's a bunch of things that feel like they have to get done before you can bring this vision to life or take the lead, or there's so many details involved in taking the lead. I think people are going to help you, and these obstacles will be cleared out of the way for you. You don't need to busy yourself with doing all these tiny, minuscule checklists. I feel like you can focus on the big picture, on your vision, and using your strengths. You don't need to get bogged down on counting how many chairs for this event or taking on everything by yourself. I feel like you will be able to, take a role that's better suited to your strengths, and maybe a more like high level or visionary role. I feel like this is a pretty clear reading. I don't know if there's the other decks. I got more than one advice card, but this seems pretty straightforward. There's something in your life where you have the deep strength and skills. It's possible you don't notice, because this is about strength below the surface. Maybe this message is for you because you don't realize quite how much strength you have, how ready for this you are, and how these opportunities are waiting for you. And you don't need to be scared and worried about all of these to-dos, like how will it actually happen? What if I don't plan for every detail? I think with this kind of situation, it's got so much natural forces and momentum behind it. It's not a matter of you have to perfect every detail. I think it's going to happen one way or another, and you should enjoy this and being a part of this. It looks like something amazing. I don't know if this is job, school, or personal life, since this is a general reading, but it looks like you will be involved in making something happen. So thank you for joining me for this reading. And if you want to get a personal reading, I'll put details in the description box. I'll also put a link to my game Monster Garden if you'd like to check it out. These two characters you got are characters from my game Monster Garden. And thank you again for watching this, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment depending on if you thought this reading was accurate or not. Please, either way, feel free to comment. And hit the bell icon if you want to stay updated on future videos. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.